Welcome back to the Keys podcast. I am your host, Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lilly. And in this episode, we are going to talk all about planning for 2025. Are you ready? So this Wednesday, I am hosting a live stream on planning 2025, breaking down our why, our priorities, our needs, wants, dreams, goals, all of that amazing stuff that we should be talking about. But in this podcast, I want to break down some of those things with you all, just in case you can't make the live stream, or, why wait until Wednesday when we can just talk about it right now? But also, come hang out in the live stream. It'd be nice to have some people in the chat. And that's on Wednesday, November 13th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. See you there. Okay, so I realized that this year, it's only November. Well, when I say only, I mean the year is not over. So why are we even talking about 2025? Well, the reason for that is because I know the past few weeks, maybe few months have been kind of heavy for people, and going into a new year, a new season, a new presidency, we all are probably a little scatterbrained or overwhelmed or struggling right now, or maybe celebrating. I don't know, wherever you stand in this, I felt like for me personally, the best way to armor myself for any situation, regardless of the circumstances around me, is to always take care of myself first. And that's not me being selfish. That's not me being egotistical or separating myself from anyone. That's more so, let me focus on my foundation before I go standing on business and then my foundation breaks and falls through. Before I go helping other people, let me help myself first and get a general, or as clear as possible, vision of who I am, what I want, what I need, focusing on my priorities. So if and when distractions try to get in my way, I know exactly what I'm working towards, who I'm working towards, how much work I need to invest in, when, etc., etc., etc. And I have found that leading with love and gratitude is always the best solution for me. And once I get my footing down and know exactly, what I'm grateful for, reflecting on the good things that have happened and how I did bounce back from the bad things that may have occurred in my life, or the struggles that I had endured in order to get to where I am today, I'm always going to be grateful for those moments. And anytime I felt pain or suffering or even uncertainty and doubt and fears, I know that I've gotten this far and I'm going to keep going. And this time, like I said, I'm just going to armor myself and equip myself with as much education, knowledge, and as best of an action plan as I can create as possible. And can we control the future? Absolutely not. But I will say, when I have a roadmap and a general idea of where I need to go, I'm more likely to complete that and be successful at that than I am without one. And like I said, we're human. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect, or I can't guarantee that this plan for 2025 will happen to the T. Congratulations to anyone who is able to achieve everything they set out to do to the T within a year's period. But for me, this is more so, I'm thinking longevity. I'm thinking long-term plans to protect my mental health, long-term plans to increase my savings, long-term plans to continue another 7 years of business. Because for me, 2025 is going to mark 7 years of the moment I quit my job and decided to take a chance on myself and really take that leap of faith. And I feel like I've been on this journey with you all, and you've seen my ups and downs. You've heard me talk about debt, no debt, closings, no closings, hating my job, loving my job, hating my business, loving my business, hating my clients, loving my clients. You get the idea. I try to make this as relatable and transparent as possible. And beyond all of that, I just want to use my experiences or the experiences of those I bring on the show to inspire, to uplift, to encourage, to make you laugh, keep you entertained, maybe distract you a little bit from whatever you have going on in life. But the ultimate goal, again, is to really just unlock the best you. And it wasn't right for me to just work on myself without sharing it. Although I could just keep everything private. I mean, I am keeping some things private, but when it comes to my business and my money, I want to open up these dialogues and be transparent and let you guys know that I do have debt, and I haven't had debt in over a decade, but I got back in debt over the last couple of years, and it happened quick. It happened so quick to the point where I'm like, how did I even get here? What do you mean 2 years ago went by and now I'm back in debt after a decade of no debt, right? So I want to talk about those moments in my life and how I got there and how I'm getting out of there and how I'm not discouraged or depressed about it. Old me would have definitely been depressed about the fact that I'm in my 40s and I'm back in debt when I just spent my entire 30s out of it. You know what I mean? And I realized that money, whether I have a lot of it or a little bit, is not who I am at my core. It is not my personality. It is not my identity. It is just a tool, a resource to get me things, to get me through certain doors, to get me to certain events, to pay for fancy meals or drinks, whatever the case may be. But debt in itself, as daunting and intimidating as it can be, I'm just not going to worry about it. Even if I don't have enough money to pay it all when I want to pay it off. I'm trusting the process and I'm going to go through the motions, but I'm also not just going to sit back and do nothing. And that's what this whole planning for 2025 action plan is that I have, that I want to share with you all and include you all in, because we need to take time for ourselves. And if that means pausing, saying no to plans for an evening, to just sit with yourself, sit with your money. You can even include your family, your friends in this project, in this, whatever you want to call it. Make it fun. I'm sitting here in my office, putting it all together, and I realized, hey, let's just make this a community thing and bring my amazing Keys family community. We need to come up with like a crew name or something. Like the Keys, I don't know. I can't think of that right now. That's a separate conversation for another day. But what I'm getting at is I want us all to have the best years ever moving forward. And I do know that life is not perfect. Life is always going to have its interruptions. Life is always going to have its devastating moments. It's also going to have its most beautiful moments, right? But having an appreciation for both, I think, is what's gotten me through some of the toughest times, is like knowing, okay, I'm going to get through this one step at a time, one day at a time. What in my resources, in my toolbox, my imaginary toolbox, what can I reach for at this point in time in order for me to go through what I'm going through? Feel your feels, always feel your feels, but is it a conversation with God, my therapist, coach, best friends, family, myself, my journal, reading a book, running, sleeping? If you don't know what your things are just yet, this is the perfect opportunity for you to sit and figure out what brings you joy in the toughest times, or what brings you stillness in the most chaotic times. What brings you resolve when your mind is just overthinking and unable to focus on one thought? That's what I'm talking about when I say 2025 and creating an action plan. Having goals and dreams and all of that is important for sure. And I have that on the list of things that we're going to go over on Wednesday and a little bit in this podcast. But ultimately, it's like knowing yourself is the ultimate key. I just said ultimate so many times. But the keys that have unlocked my best self have truly been knowing who I am in every situation. What brings me joy? Hanging out with family and friends. I have a 4-year-old niece and a 15-year-old nephew who I love. Even though they drive me crazy, I love being around them. They crack me up. My best friends, whether we're all just in a room hanging out or at happy hour at someone's house, laughing, sitting in silence, making fun of each other, working out. That stuff brings me joy, and that they're in my priorities list. You know what I mean? And it's okay to put people in certain categories if it means it's going to benefit your mental wellness, your mental well-being, your everyday quality of life. Because remember, it's also about quality of life. You can close 100 transactions a month. How is your quality of life? Is it really worth it? Are you spending your money in a way that's going to continue to bring you joy or take away opportunities to build and create more joy in your life? Money is great. Don't get me wrong. I could use a little bit more at this time in my life. But I think I'm in a season of learning to be more grateful, learning to be more appreciative of these moments and remembering the feelings of when I didn't have a lot or how I got through, but also remembering it really does all work out. The moments I think back when I would say, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go through this. I don't want to talk to this person. I don't want to see this person. Or, oh, I hate my job. And tell me if you can relate. If I just sat and did nothing, I ended up being just a broken record, right? But it was the moments when I had to face those uncomfortable situations and people and conversations, and that I felt like my best self. So I don't want to keep rambling or yapping on. I just want to keep this episode to the point and quick, but you guys get the idea of where I'm getting at. In order to create a life, a quality life, unlocking the best you, knowing how to care for yourself and your wealth. This is how I'm approaching 2025. And if you find that you want to add some more things to this list, go ahead, feel free. This is just a general list to get us going to build our foundation for 2025. Of course, you could take action on these things today. It is November 10th, 2024. But I also feel like taking your time and making this a habit of prioritizing yourself and auditing your life, taking care of yourself is really important. So with all of that said, let's kind of jump into the list that I made that is going to be a part of my foundation for my 2025 action plan. Are you ready? Grab a pen, paper, pause this part, bookmark this episode. Also share it with a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. The more that people are aware and planning for themselves, the better our lives will be. All right, let's go. So the first thing that I always do before every year is my word of the year. What is my word of the year? I will share that in the live stream because it clicked maybe about 3 months ago for me. But my word of the year this year was trust. And that has definitely been the theme of my entire year, is learning to trust God, learning to trust myself, learning to trust the process. And more recently, I added this is to trust the abundance, because I had such a lack mentality, a scarcity mindset. When I err on the side of trusting the process, I feel like I'm a lot more optimistic. I'm in a better mood. I start to see more opportunities for myself that I take action on, or at least write down to invest some time in it later. So find your word of the year, make that your theme. It could be words, but I have always chosen a word. Like the year before, it was courage. And the year before that was confidence. So you get the idea. Whatever it is that you want to focus on or improve in, allow that to be your word. And again, give it some time. It may not hit you right away, but maybe throughout this exercise, it'll unveil itself. And if you want your word to be courage or confidence, go for it. Trust. Just trust it. Trust your intuition. Okay, the next point after your word of the year is your why. Why do you want to do anything? moving forward? Why do you want this job? Why do you want this business? Why do you want to make X amount of money? Why do you want to go on this vacation? I know that's a lot of whys to answer, but what is the root? What is the reason? What is the foundational thing that is going to drive you to achieve these things? Do you want to retire your parents? Do you want to buy a home? Do you want to improve your mental health so you can be more social? Do you want to be a foodie so you can quit your real estate career? Or do you want to start a career in real estate and quit your whatever other job you have? You know what I mean? Break down what your why is. It could be a statement. It could be your word of the year. And also, your why can be revised. Your reason today may not be your reason at the top of 2025. But for now, what has been the driving force behind everything you do to this day? And just revise that. How do you want to become smarter, better, more confident, have a more quality of life, increase the love in your life, and just create more harmony in your life? Maybe it's taking an art class, a cooking class. Think about it. What is the why that will drive you into success for 2025? Then after that, we're going to talk about a list of our priorities. What are top 3 priorities that you want to focus on for 2025? And you can list out a bunch and then just rank them. Think about I think of ways where we don't have to overwhelm ourselves. And I know only doing 3 things in 1 year or one thing in 1 year doesn't feel productive, or maybe it feels like that's not enough. Like I should be doing more things. Like, yeah, no, absolutely. You can, if you have a list of 100 things you want to prioritize for 2024, and reminder, this is mostly surrounding our business and our careers. It can also include family, friends, travel, of course, all of that. But this is mostly to focus on how we're going to navigate our business, our careers, our finances, our mental health. And within those priorities, if it is spending more quality time with family, which will trickle into having a better career, absolutely make that your number 1. If it's traveling to Japan for the first time, which highly recommend, 1,000 out of 1,000, highly recommend. I went for my 40th birthday. Man, it was the best ever. I can't wait to go back, honestly. Shoot, I might make that my priority and my why so I can work harder to get back to Japan. But you get the idea. So what are 1 to 3 priorities you want to focus on in the upcoming year? And then start writing down your needs and wants surrounding that. And then what are your dreams? What are your goals? And what is the timeline in which you want to achieve all that throughout the rest of the year? And then, of course, finally, money, the most daunting of them all. How do you want your money to look, to feel, to make you feel, to help you navigate this world? What do you need to purchase? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to sell in your house? What do you need to bring into your home? Do you want to change your style? Do you want to change your appearance at work, at home? Do you want an office in the house? All of that obviously relates to money, but also thinking about your money mindset. How do you feel about spending money? How do you feel about making more money? Is it scary? Is it intimidating? These are the things that we're going to really tap into on Wednesday, but I just wanted to list these things out for you guys so you can have an idea, so you can just get started right now. And then if you do join us in the chat, or you watch the replay, or you listen to this episode back again, or maybe you sit with your friends and do this, or whatever the case may be, I just wanted to provide you guys with a list of things that have helped me throughout the years, especially within these last 7 years of being in business on my own and being self-employed. It is a volatile lifestyle that I have chosen, but it is referencing these points in my life that have helped me to stay in check, to stay in order as best as possible. And even when I fall off, I have something to go back to and reference and say, oh yeah, I need to buy a car in 2025. I can't just sit here and not make money. Oh, yes, I want to be debt free by 2026. Okay, got it. This is why we have to sacrifice a little bit for the greater good, not everything has to be instant gratification, embracing a little bit of delayed gratification as well along the way. So I hope these things that I have listed help you out in your journey, and I hope to see you in the live chat. Also, a few other announcements coming up. I did post on my YouTube channel, which you can go to youtube.com/transactioncare, or just visit my website, transactioncare.com. Everything lives there, including this podcast. But I created a How to Start a Podcast series. It's 3 episodes. I made them as simple and to the point as possible. I definitely will be making more to add on to that series, but for now, I just wanted to give you guys 3 quick and easy ways to start a podcast, including some mistakes that I have made and reasons why you should start a podcast in 2025 or today. So if you haven't already, visit transactioncare.com to watch those. Also, exclusive, I am creating a whole separate channel on YouTube just for the Keys podcast. So stay tuned within the next week or so for that to go live. I just want Transaction Care to be strictly for transaction coordinators, real estate professionals alike, because I think that community and the community I've built on that channel deserves to stay in that lane. Whereas the Keys is going to be a mix of real estate, business, mindset, but more so focusing on the areas of, mindset, mental health, financial literacy. It's going to be a lot more broader topics versus just talking about real estate or just having training videos or just interviewing real estate professionals. So keep that in mind for future episodes and look out for a brand new The Keys YouTube channel as well, which I'm excited about because I love YouTube. So if you want me to also create, here I go creating more work for myself, but if you want coaching or training on how to create your podcast, how to create a YouTube channel, and or how to create and start a TC business, all of that is available at transactioncare.com. So just visit transactioncare.com. It all lives there on how to access that, how to access time with me, either one-on-one or in a group community space. I also have my Patreon, which is exclusively for those aspiring to be transaction coordinators or are already transaction coordinators, but you're within your first 5 years and probably just need some additional guidance, support, coaching, training materials. It all lives on my Patreon. And right now it is only $7 a month to join for the first 10 people. And then after that, I'm only opening it up for 10 more people to be at the price of $10. So for the first 20 members, you get an exclusive price because starting January 1st, 2025, yesterday's price is not today's price. So just know that it's going to go up by a lot. So if 20 people, I'm almost at that 10 member mark. You can join for free, but you're not going to get the exclusive content. You're not going to get training. You're not going to get access to my one-on-one calendar. Yes, you also get access to me one-on-one when you join my $7 Patreon. So join now at either the $7 price or the $10 price, because like I said, in 2025, the price is going up and everyone will still have the same access. Even if you paid at the $7 tier, $10 tier, everyone gets the same information. It's just different prices, and you'll be locked in forever at the $7 price. So don't worry about losing that unless you cancel and have to start over. But I'm just being truly and fully transparent for those that do want to join. And you can join by visiting learntotc.com. I have a website for everything. So if you decide to start a business but want to sell or market certain products, go ahead and just buy that domain, even if it's temporary. But ultimately, everything lives at transactioncare.com. If you want to listen to old episodes of this show, past and present, there are 50 plus episodes available, 60 plus actually. You can visit thekeyspodcast.com. And if you want to learn how to become a transaction coordinator, visit learntotc.com. And stay tuned for the 2025 action plan live stream happening Wednesday, November 13th, 2024 at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The replay will also be available for those that aren't able to make it. And for those that do, I will see you in the chat. And until the next episode of the Keys podcast, I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for being here, supporting me, supporting the brand, even when we've changed names or didn't have consistent episodes. You guys, I see the data. I see the behind the scenes. I see the numbers. We're moving the needle little by little. My goal is to hit 5,000 downloads by the end of the year. And for someone that hasn't been posting as consistent, the fact that I'm about 200 away from that is such a blessing. And I'm just so grateful. So if you have a guest or an idea for topics you want to hear on the show, please let me know. I don't shy away from suggestions, and I will do my research as well and try to bring you guys the best quality, informative guests as I can in order to discuss the themes that we will be discussing. So bring on the suggestions, bring on the feedback as well, because I want to create this show for 2025. That is one of my goals for 2025, is to really grow the show, the Keys podcast, and make it a household name that people can reference and be motivated by, inspired by, and of course, unlocking the best version of you along the way. So thank you again for listening. This has been another episode of the Keys podcast, because you know what? I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. Yeah, I'm bringing back that old slogan. Got it? And we are unlocking the best you along the way. So make sure you care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon. thekeyspodcast.com. See you guys in the chat.